Hey guys, it's Huntin for Games. And while this isn't the sort of thing I normally do on my channel, I'm not really like a latest breaking news kind of guy. The new Sony PS4 announcements came out today, and I wanted to talk about them real quick, say what they were, and get all your thoughts on what's going on. So, unscripted, no plans here, just gonna kind of spit this out. I wanted to get all your thoughts. If you haven't heard, they announced that they're the PS4 Slim and the PS4 Pro, previously known as the PS4 Neo or the next PS4, the PS4K, are real and are coming. No surprises there. PS4 Slim first. Apparently, it's just the PS4 now. They're kind of like phasing out the existing PS4 and replacing it with the PS4 Slim, a smaller version that's essentially the exact same thing in every way, starting at $299. So anyway, the PS4 Slim looks like a slightly smaller version of the existing PS4. It's kind of more rounded. You're either going to like it or not care. If you're not a fan of it aesthetically, sorry, I guess. You can still buy a regular PS4 for now. I think this is great. It's a great price point, matching the existing PS4. They're kind of just phasing out the old PS4 now, which is going to be identical in every way. I mean, it's not bad. It is what it is. The obviously much bigger news was the PS4 Pro, which we haven't really had any details, only rumors about what's going on. The PS4 Pro kind of looks like this weird triple layered version of the existing PS4. It looks like they added like another little top tier. I can't decide if I like it or not. It's a little weird looking. Everyone's calling it like the Big Mac PS4, like the Whopper. Real quick rundown, $399 is what the PS4 Pro is going for, which I think is a great price point. It's the price of the original PS4 when it first came out. 1 terabyte hard drive, which is a huge deal instead of the 500 gigabyte that we're coming with standard now. Improved graphical horsepower and processing speed. We don't really know what that means yet. They didn't really release any specs. They just kind of kept saying like double the graphical horsepower. And 4K game and media output if you have 4K TV. So let's talk about that. I'm going to say right now, if you're expecting it to be truly native 4K, I mean that this is rendering internally at 4K and outputting at 4K, it's probably not going to be that. Best PC hardware out there right now is struggling to output 4K at 60 frames per second. Struggling to output at 30 frames per second. I mean like top-end PC stuff. It can do it, but not for all games. Like The Witcher 3 is really intense. What it's probably doing is some kind of fancy upscaling checkerboard thing where it renders like half the image and then half the image again, like on a different fancy stuff. Is that to say it's not going to look better? No, it probably will look a lot better. It's just probably not going to be native 4K, even though they keep saying native 4K. That can mean a couple of things. For instance, right now the PS4 often runs games at native 1080p, but they're actually 900p upscaled to 1080p. Does that matter? Do you all care? Maybe not. Just throwing it out there. It also offers HDR, which is a new kind of fancy color rendering scheme. It sounds amazing, but very few TVs offer it. Look it up if you hadn't heard about it. I just found out about it kind of recently. It sounds really cool. It's just not really out there. But back to the 4K. Even with the increased hardware that they've said is in the PS4 Pro, if they're sacrificing frame rate to achieve a higher visual fidelity, a higher resolution of the screen, I'm not going to be happy about it. I'm sure a lot of people won't be happy about it. Frame rate, the smoothness of the image is incredibly important to me, and I'd be sad to see that go. If instead they're just kind of like using some fancy rendering technique to increase the resolution, maybe there's more things on screen, who knows what they're going to do. Apparently it's up to the developer, which we'll get back to in a minute. Then great. I think that's awesome. A better image is always better. I don't see a downside to that. The other side of that, I'll quick touch on. If you only have a 1080p TV, they did claim that your games could have improved visual fidelity, more grass, better shadows, better depth of field, could have better frame rate. Could though, it's up to the developer. So if you only have a 1080p TV like me, it's less of a given whether or not you're going to buy this because you're not sure if it'll really improve the experience. Will it? Probably. But it is up to the developer, and we've seen how that can go really badly in the past. Also, I should know right now that they've only clarified that this is definitely going to have visual improvements and, 4K-ish stuff for games that are, they announced a bunch of games. Games that are coming out in the future that they announced from E3, the cool dinosaur robots one that I can't remember. Lost in Time, Lost something, I forget. The zombie one they showed. Call of Duty, Battlefield, they said are both going to come either at launch or shortly after launch with improved visual fidelity on the 4K. Awesome. Also, improved experience with VR. If you're excited about VR, what improved experience means, we still don't know. There's a lot of them just saying like it's gonna be better than it is now. Exactly how though? Older games, they said good. the developers can easily add a little update and do some improvements, and it's not a big deal. But if you're playing a game that doesn't really have a lot of post-launch support, probably not going to happen. Long story short is, there is stronger hardware in the PS4 Pro. Will it automatically make your games look better? Maybe. Because console users probably aren't familiar with this problem, I'm going to quick go into the idea of like bottlenecking and why it could be a problem with the new PS4 Pro. If you're familiar with PC gaming, you've probably experienced this before and you can just ignore it. Essentially, super simplified, dumbed down, this is not how it works version. In the PS4, if there are two pieces of hardware that help produce an image, and they have now doubled the strength of one of those pieces of hardware, but the other piece is what is causing us to like only run at 30 frames per second in Battlefield when a bunch of explosions and tanks come through and there's 20 guys all shooting me in the face. Even if this is way more powerful, if this is the part struggling with that, we still are going to run at 30 frames per second. The positive of that is that they may be able to up the resolution with this part without really changing the experience over on this part. You'll still be running at 30 frames per second, but it'll be better image. But it also explains why, even if you're running only at 1080p, everyone's like, why isn't it automatically an improved frame rate? It may not be that part of the hardware that's causing this. I don't know if I explained that well. Let me know in the comments if that's like more confusing than ever. Ultimately, nobody has their hands on it yet. We've just seen a bunch of videos of pre-rendered scenes that they like handpicked, so obviously it's gonna look amazing. And also, we're all watching like 1080p videos on YouTube of the conference showing 4K footage, so we can't really get a feeling for how it looks yet. I'm sure it looks better. The question is it as smooth? If they sacrifice frame rate, like I said before, I'm gonna be really pissed, I'll be upset, and it's not gonna be worth it. If you're looking to buy a new PS4 and you haven't bought one yet, there's definitely a decision you can make here between the $300 and the $400 PS4. I just think it's a good price. Now, whether or not it's a good price, if you're thinking about upgrading from a PS4 that you own already and you don't own a 4K TV, that's gonna be a great question. Even if you do have a 4K TV, no one's really quite sure what that experience is gonna be like yet. I'll just throw it at the end here. I am excited. I think it's an awesome concept that I'm gonna have better looking games, even if it's not true 4K resolution, if I have a 4K TV. I think it's a great concept that I have a 1080p and they're going to be better looking games. A lot of it does hinge on developers, and I'm excited to see next 2 weeks how many developers come out of the woodwork saying like, we're planning on updating our game, or like, we've already updated our game. I don't know why Sony didn't tell you. But let me know in the comments what you think. Is this stupid? Do the games look great already? I personally am super excited if they look better. I don't think that's ever a bad thing, but I don't have a 4K TV yet. Oh, I should add at the end, while they do output, and they've already announced like Netflix, YouTube is going to be 4K, and that's fine, there is no 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player, which is kind of a weird choice, and everyone's kind of a little upset about. I don't own any Ultra 4K HD Blu-rays, but that's because I don't have a 4K TV yet. I'd kind of want to be able to play those if I got one. Just a weird choice. Price point-wise, I still think it's fine, but still, bizarre. Ultimately, we'll see down the line, but I am excited. I think it's a really cool thing. I thought it was going to be like an $800 closer to a PC kind of weird mix, and I thought that was going to just bomb. I think a $400 improved hardware PS4 has a real chance of being successful. Ultimately, these are just options for the consumer. They can still buy the $299 Slim PS4, or I guess just PS4, or this more expensive, beefier hardware version. If you already have a PS4 and this sounds dumb to you, it doesn't matter. Don't buy it. Nothing's changing. Anyways, let me know in the comments, do you think Sony's being dumb? Do you think it's awesome? Are you excited? Is there no reason for it? All you Microsoft, Xbox fans out there, let me know what you think, because obviously with the Xbox One S and the Project Scorpio announced for next year, very kind of similar, conflicting little ideas going on there, so I want to hear what your thoughts are. PC gamers, I know you probably don't care, so, you know, just, I don't know. Also, let me know if you enjoyed this kind of like late-breaking news kind of stuff. I do occasionally think about putting out a quick video with like news updates with like limited editing and just kind of quick throwing out there with no script. So let me know if you like this, and I'll do about more stuff. I just, you know, the PS4 stuff was announced today, and I really want to talk about it. Like the video if you liked it, and please subscribe if you're not. I've got plenty of videos coming each week, and I really hope to see you guys back. I actually got one to come tomorrow because I've got the usually scheduled video coming tomorrow. So awesome. Extra videos this week. Crazy. All right, seriously though.